Hey guys, I'm uploading this video because there's an area inside White Spring. It's a restaurant. I don't know how many of you guys have investigated this in Fallout 76, but I mean, there's not much here. I mean, there's robots and stuff. And what's interesting is if you sit down at one of the tables, a restaurant or a robot will actually come up to you and show you a menu of food you can order from. And I think that's interesting. But I mean, seriously, how many times are you really going to do that? Maybe once. And I just think this is a wasted opportunity. I really feel like this should be a social area of White Spring. And my idea that I've tweeted to Bethesda that I'm hoping that they will adapt, and I'm hoping you guys will share and also give them the same feedback, is that these tables could be, they could put games on these tables. Like, for example, they could set a chessboard on them. Or if you're familiar with the game Reversi, it's a game that I love. It's a tabletop game, and they could fill all these tables with different, various tabletop games, public domain games. They don't even have to worry about like copyrights and stuff. Reversi is public domain. Chess is public domain. They could put checkers on these things, and then players could come in here and play each other. And my idea is maybe we could wager caps against one another as an option, not required but optional, and just and there's only a piano on here, but they could put in, oh, never mind, there's this bass too, I just noticed. But oh, you can't play that. That's just stupid. All right, but they could put other instruments up here. I mean, this whole area could be filled with a dozen players, all waging caps against each other, playing checkers and reversi and chess or whatever else people could think of. And I just think it would make this area and the game more interesting, and it wouldn't even cost them much money to make that alteration where we could just sit down and play these games. So I'm hoping that you guys will agree with me and give that feedback to Bethesda, because otherwise this area is just stupid. There's no point to it. I mean, you can see they have all these paintings and stuff. They went through a lot of trouble to decorate this room and to create this whole area. But there's just nothing here to do. I mean, yeah, you can pick up all the vases and get ceramic or whatever the hell out of them. But I think if we were to replace these with games that we could play, and imagine playing Reversi with a bunch of, I don't know, caps or whatever, or chess with just makeshift junk or whatever, this would be much more interesting. So I hope you guys watch this video if you play Fallout 76 and you agree with me. Oh, one other idea I had is if they could put some sort of barrier right here where you enter, right? Where there's only like one way in and out, and that when you enter it, your weapons become useless. Where nobody can fight each other in this area. You can only play the games, and then if you want to like duke it out with one another, then you have to leave and go out here and fight. I think that would be a nice little addition, because I would hate to be playing chess and then somebody starts beating me in the head with a sledgehammer. So I hope you guys agree with this, because Fallout 76 could use some easy help to make it more interesting. And I think you can't get much easier than just putting some checkerboards on these desks and just letting us play against each other. But I'm not a computer programmer. Maybe that's a lot more complicated than I think it is. But PlayStation Home years ago had that, where you could sit down and play Reversi against another player, and I would spend hours doing that. So hopefully you guys have heard of Reversi, and I'm sure you're familiar with chess and checkers, and it would just be more fun for me to be able to socialize and play these games, get some caps or whatever. We could even wager legendary items. I don't give a shit. Let's think of some ways that we can make this game a little bit more fun and interesting without having to put a whole lot more work. They don't have to reinvent the wheel, is essentially what I'm trying to say here. I hope you guys got a kick out of my idea, and I hope that you tweet to Bethesda and let them know you'd like to see it as well, especially since, to me, it would be a pretty easy modification.
Good evening.
And good evening to you, Robot. Have a good one. Thanks.
Is still available.